Hey guys, Ash here from curseforward.com, and in this video, let's pit Sony's flagship phone for the year 2013, the Xperia Z, against Samsung's 2012 flagship, one of the most popular phones in the world today, the Samsung Galaxy S3. Can the Galaxy S3 with its year-old hardware still hold its own when pitted head-on against the Xperia Z, or is it finally starting to show its age? Let's take a closer look. In round 1, let's talk about build and design. The Xperia Z, despite its bigger display, is just 2.4mm longer, 1mm wider, and actually 0.7mm slimmer than the Galaxy S3. The Xperia Z, with its shatterproof and scratch-resistant dragon glass on the front and back, has a lot more premium feel when compared to the plasticky build of the Galaxy S3. Even the buttons on the Xperia Z look a lot better than their Galaxy S3 counterparts. With the Xperia Z, you have the power and volume rockers on the right side. There are no physical or capacitive buttons here because the Xperia Z resorts to on-screen buttons instead. With the Galaxy S3, you've got the volume rockers to the left, the power button to the right, and the capacitive buttons with the physical home button below the screen. It is also worth noting that the Xperia Z has an ingress protection rating of IP57. This means it can live the rugged life as it's dust and water resistant. It can even be immersed in up to 1 meter of water for up to 30 minutes, and it is for this reason that you see flaps covering all the ports on the Xperia Z. With regards to design, there are two places where the Galaxy S3 shines though. One is the speaker placement. On the Xperia Z, the speaker is at the right bottom, so when you pick up your phone and you hold it, your palm tends to cover up the speakers and ends up muffling the audio. The Xperia Z also has sharp edges, and this can make talking to somebody on the phone a little uncomfortable. Overall, despite its shortcomings, the Xperia Z seems to be the better built phone here. So round 1, build and design, Xperia Z. In round 2, let's compare specs. Both phones are powered by quad-core processors, the Galaxy S3 an Exynos clocked at 1.4 GHz, and the Xperia Z a Snapdragon Pro clocked at 1.5 GHz. While the Galaxy S3 utilizes a Mali 400MP GPU, the Xperia Z uses the more powerful Adreno 320. The Xperia Z also has double the amount of RAM. The Galaxy S3 has a 4.8-inch 720p Super AMOLED HD pen-tile display compared to the 5-inch 1080p reality display on the Xperia Z. That's 306 pixels per inch against 441 pixels per inch. As far as internal storage goes, the Galaxy S3 is available in 16, 32 and 64 gig variants, whereas the Xperia Z comes only with 16 gigs internal storage as an option. As far as specs on paper go, I'll have to give it to the Xperia Z. So round 2, specs on paper, the Sony Xperia Z. In round 3, let's talk about the displays. The Xperia Z has a higher pixel density, and this results in sharper visuals. Moreover, the Galaxy S3 Super AMOLED HD oversaturates colors, while the Xperia Z provides for more natural tones. The Super AMOLED HD display on the Galaxy S3 also uses a pen-tile matrix. This means there are lesser subpixels per pixel on the Galaxy S3. In theory, this degrades the quality of the display. The problems for the Xperia Z start when it comes to the viewing angles, and no, I'm not talking about extreme angles. Just turn the screen a few degrees and you'll start noting white hues creeping in. The contrast levels on the 1080p reality display on the Xperia Z are also subpar. Both displays are acceptable when it comes to visibility under direct sunlight. Despite the issues with the viewing angles and the lower contrast levels, I'm gonna give this round to the Xperia Z just for the sheer pixel density. Round 3, display, Xperia Z. In round 4, let's get down to the basics. Calling, texting, and browsing. When it comes to texting, both phones offer a similar kind of experience. Both of them have very good keyboards with shortcuts for the numeric keys. Both phones even support swipe-like gestures. So as far as texting goes, they're on par. When it comes to browsing, both phones offer a similar experience with little to tell them apart. Both have the Google Chrome browser, and everything is fast and fluid. There are no issues with rendering. Both phones are fast enough. There are no issues whatsoever. The only minor gripe here again comes with regards to the display, with the Xperia Z's display having the viewing angle issue and lower contrast. Apart from this, the browsing experience on both phones is going to be pretty similar. The point where the Galaxy S3 does pull ahead is with regards to calls. Both phones have the smart dial feature. Say for example I want to call the contact test. All I need to do is type in 8378 8378 and test gets detected. So this is not available with vanilla Android, and both phones have that, but the Galaxy S3 does have a few advantages. Say for example, you can swipe right to call and swipe left to message, or if you're just looking at the contact, you can just pick up the phone, put it to your ear, and the phone dials the contact on its own. I don't have a SIM card on the phone, so it doesn't show up. Anyway, these are not the reasons why I'm going to tell you the Galaxy S3 is better when it comes to calling. The actual reason why the Galaxy S3 pulls ahead at this point is the earpiece quality. Maybe it's because of the waterproofing, but the audio output from the earpiece on the Sony Xperia Z is pretty low. When I'm in a room, I don't have a problem hearing the person at the other end of the line. But if I'm in a crowded place or in traffic, it's pretty hard to hear the other person. This is not the issue with the Galaxy S3. The Galaxy S3 again feels a little easier to grip because of its curved edges, unlike the sharp edges on the Xperia Z. The sharp edges again become a problem when you actually put the phone to your ear, because the sharp edges kind of make putting the phone to your ear and talking to someone uncomfortable. So though both phones offer comparable experiences when it comes to texting and browsing, the Galaxy S3 pulls ahead in terms of calling. So finally the Galaxy S3 wins around. Round 4, the basics, calling, texting and browsing, Galaxy S3. In round 5, let's talk a little bit about the cameras. The Galaxy S3 comes with a 8 megapixel rear camera with LED flash and a 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera. The Xperia Z, on the other hand, comes with a 13.1 megapixel rear camera with LED flash and a 2.2 megapixel front camera. As far as front cameras goes, the Xperia Z can shoot 1080p videos at 30 frames per second, whereas the Galaxy S3 can only do 720p videos at 30 frames per second. When we talk about the software here, there are loads of options with both phones. So let me quickly open up camera on both. Alright, first off, with the Galaxy S3, you've got a lot of options, right from best photo, best face, panorama, HDR, the burst mode and so on, and you also get a lot of different effects, so that is normal. And then you've got cold vintage, you've got lots of effects actually, negatives and so on. The Xperia Z also ships with a lot of options, the first of which is the Superior Auto mode. With Superior Auto, as per the object in the frame and as per the conditions, the Xperia Z switches between 36 different modes to give you the best shot possible. Keep in mind that this takes pictures at 12.1 megapixels instead. So let me just pull in my Droid. As you can see, it now switches to the macro mode. Let me just pull in some notes that I've been writing for this video, and there you see it switches to the document mode. So apart from this, you've got your normal options. You have HDR. You've got your video camera, the burst mode, picture effects here. This is pretty cool. You get a lot of effects over here. You can look at the different effects in real time with the Xperia Z. And once you go into a certain effect, you again have a lot more options there as well. Just tap on it and it changes. We also have the panorama option, the screen selection where you can select the different options yourself manually. And you've got the front camera, the front video and so on. So guys, what is worth noting here is that with the video camera, you get the HDR video option, which improves the quality of the videos. Though the Xperia Z is marketed as being able to shoot videos and take photos simultaneously, when you shoot video, the maximum resolution that you can take a picture at is just 1 megapixel. But with the Galaxy S3, when shooting videos, you can simultaneously take 6 megapixel photos. So this is an advantage for the Galaxy S3. So guys, let's go ahead and quickly check out some sample shots that I took. The camera on the Xperia Z fails to impress. The pictures feel oversaturated. Unless you're going to zoom in a lot, the pictures taken on the Galaxy S3 seem a lot better. This is especially evident in these photos that are taken with just the flash. Let's take a look at a few video samples. The oversaturation is evident here too. Thanks to the oversaturation, subpar low light performance, and the inability to take more than a 1 megapixel photo while shooting full HD video causes the Xperia Z to lose out here. Round 5, camera, Galaxy S3. In this round, let's talk about entertainment. That's video and audio playback. As far as video playback goes, with the Xperia Z and its 1080p display, watching a video is really great, especially since Sony's Bravia Engine 2 kicks in and enriches the whole video viewing experience by upping the contrast levels and so on. The video is sharp, crisp, and again, viewing 1080p videos on the Sony Xperia Z is a pleasure. The only downsides being the viewing angles and the battery life. On the Xperia Z, you can play back about 5.5 hours of video before your battery drains. On the other hand, with the Galaxy S3, you get about 8 hours of video playback before needing to charge your phone. Both phones can natively play any of the popular codecs out there. With the Galaxy S3, you can also take a screenshot of the video that you're watching. You also get an extra option where you can just tap the power button on top, and that locks your screen so that you don't accidentally hit anything on screen to move away from the video. And you also have the pop-up player option so that you can multitask while watching video. Let's talk a little bit about the music players here. Both the Xperia Z and the Galaxy S3 have solid music players. They are evenly matched in terms of features. Say for example, the Galaxy S3 gives you the music square. The Xperia Z on the other hand counters it with the Sense Me channels. So as far as the music playing capabilities goes, both phones are, it's pretty similar. They've got pretty much the same features, playlists, albums, artists, the same kind of classifications. Let's check out the speaker quality. The audio output on the Xperia Z is a little lower, and again, with the way it's designed, when you hold your phone in your hand this way, it's going to be even more muffled. Just to show you, I'm not really pushing against it, so that's another thing to keep in mind. And under settings for the Xperia Z, under sound, you've got an option called X-Loud, and it is after X-Loud is turned on that you get this volume output. Without X-Loud on, the volume output is even lower. As far as earphone quality goes, both phones are pretty evenly matched. The Xperia Z just edges ahead a little bit thanks to the Clear Audio Plus option, which enhances the bass and overall improves the quality through the earphones. Despite the 1080p display and Bravia Engine 2 of the Xperia Z, the Galaxy S3 is the better device to play video and audio on, thanks to the better speaker quality and longer battery life. So round 6, video and audio playback, Galaxy S3. In this round, let's talk a little bit about the software side of things. So let's start with the lock screen. The Xperia Z has a nice transition to open the phone up, and you get two shortcuts over here. The first one is to music controls. You can skip tracks and you can pause and play music from here. And the second one over here is for the camera. You can drag it to open the camera up, and you can also set it to take a picture as soon as it gets opened up. So that's a nice feature there. With the Galaxy S3, you get the water ripple effects, and you also get 5 customizable shortcuts over here. So you can change this if needed, and all you need to do is just drag one and drop it, and that opens up. As far as the OS goes, both phones currently run Jelly Bean. The Xperia Z runs Android 4.1.2 out of the box. So just to show you, that's Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean. And the Galaxy S3 originally shipped with Android Ice Cream Sandwich and currently has been updated to Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean. But the look and feel of both devices are completely different. Sony has its own Xperia UI on top, and the Galaxy S3 has Touchwiz Nature UX. So let's start with the extra features that you get with the Sony Xperia Z. So first off, we saw the Smart Dial feature when it comes to calling. Apart from that, what I really like about the Sony Xperia Z's Xperia UI is that it seems to be built around the 1080p display of the Xperia Z. As you can see, the everything is a lot more finer. The fonts used and everything. Say for example, you go into the albums, and as you can see, there are seven rows over here, and there are 5 columns. So this is possible due to the 1080p display on the Xperia Z. So even when you open up other apps, third-party apps, the phone is better optimized. Let me show you. So as you can see here, this is Pick Speed Wallpapers. You open it up and you get a 5x4 grid over here. The same app on the Galaxy S3 gives you a 2x4 grid, 2x3 grid actually. As far as customizations go, you get you just need to pinch the screen and you get all your home screens here. You can add an extra home screen at either end, and that is again a nice little feature. You can add your widgets from here, apps from here, and you also get a ton of wallpapers that ship with the Xperia Z. Apart from this, going back, you also get something called themes. So the themes don't just change the wallpapers, but actually change some other stuff as well. Like, alright, so you see this widget over here, you can see everything in blue. Now let me switch to this theme. And there you see the colors change. And similarly, even with the keyboard, the trail you get when you swipe, the color changes as per your theme. So as far as customization with themes go, Xperia Z does a good job. On the other hand, with the Galaxy S3 here, you can just pinch and you get you can see all your home screens. You can have up to 7 home screens. On the Xperia Z, again, you can have 7 home screens. So just to show you, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 home screens on either, and you can select the one that should be the main home screen. Again, you can do that with the Xperia Z as well by just tapping it over here. And you can easily delete home screens as well. So now, apart from that, the Xperia Z ships with the regular host of Google Apps, Play Store, Gmail, Google Chrome, and Google Maps, and so on. And again, with the Galaxy S3, you've got all the Google apps. Apart from that, you also get a host of Samsung apps like S-Voice and so on. Sony also includes a few of its own apps, and some of them are really good, like the Sony Car app, for example. So this kind of, you can add different apps over here, and the icons are really big, and it deactivates your back and home keys, so that when you're driving, you don't hit it by mistake, and you can use the bigger keys, and it actually makes using your phone while driving a little easier. Not that I recommend you guys to use your phone while driving anyway. Touchwiz on the Galaxy S3, on the other hand, offers a ton of features, right from swiping a contact right to call or left to message, like we saw earlier on, to a host of motion controls. Let me show you that. So, learn about motions. So you've got direct call, wherein you pick up the phone and put it to your ear and it dials the number by itself. You've got smart alert, wherein if you have a missed call or a notification, you pick up the phone and it vibrates. You've got double tap to top, wherein you tap the top of your phone twice to scroll to the top of a list. You've got tilt to zoom, just to show you. That's tilt to zoom. You've got pan to move icon. You've got pan to browse images. So that's the image there. You've got shake to update. You've got turn over to mute or pause. And you also have palm swipe to capture. You can take a screenshot by just swiping a palm over the screen. And palm touch to mute or pause. So when you're listening to music, just put your palm over the phone and it pauses. So while some of these might seem a little gimmicky, there are quite a few like the palm swipe to capture, direct call, smart alerts, which are really useful. And apart from this, you've got other options like the home screen mode, where you get the normal basic mode or an easy mode with bigger widgets and bigger fonts, making the transition to Android for newcomers a lot easier. And you've got the blocking mode as well, which is similar to the do not disturb mode found on iOS devices, where you can disable incoming calls, notifications, alarms and timers and LED indicators for certain timings, but still allow a few contacts through so that you don't miss your important calls. Apart from that, you've got your power saving mode. We'll look at the power saving options on both phones a little later on when we talk about batteries. Then you've got the lock screen options. You get a few extra options here. You get a face and voice option, and you've got a motion option as well. So these are unique to the Galaxy series, that is Touchwiz. You also get the page buddy. So say you plug in a earphone, or you dock your phone in, or you go out to roaming, different stuff pop up on your home screen. Say you plug in your earphones, the music player, shortcuts to the music player, video player and so on show up. You also have the smart rotation and smart stay options. The smart rotation option disables or the auto screen rotation, but instead uses the front camera to track your eyes and adjusts the screen orientation accordingly. The smart stay option lets your screen stay on as long as you're looking at it. Again, uses the front camera to track your eyes. Both phones have toggles on the notification bar. The Galaxy S3 a lot more than the Xperia Z, and these are customizable as well. You also get a brightness slider over here with the option to set automatic brightness as well, and also your music player controls if you have music running in the back. So these are all advantages to the Galaxy S3, and apart from all these, you also get a multi-window feature wherein you can run multiple apps at the same time. So say for example, that's my browser and my email. The Sony Xperia Z, on the other hand, has something called small apps. Tap the open apps button and you get a list of apps from here. So say for example the calculator app, it just floats on screen, similar to the pop-up player on the Galaxy S3. And if you are unsatisfied with the apps that you find here, you can get a lot more from the Play Store as well. So just to show you, as you can see, there's quite a selection on the Play Store. The amount of features that Samsung Galaxy S3 and Touchwiz bring to the table are unrivaled. Thanks to this, and also keeping in mind that Samsung has officially announced support for the Galaxy S3 till Android 5.0 or Key Lime Pie, this round goes to the Galaxy S3. So round 7, software, Galaxy S3. Round 8, let's talk about the battery. The Xperia Z ships with a 2330 mAh battery compared to the 2100 mAh battery found in the Galaxy S3. Both phones have some power management options. So let's quickly go into settings. For the Xperia Z, you've got something called the stamina mode, which turns your data off when your screen is in standby. But then again, you can add exceptions to this, so your WhatsApp notifications or your Viber notifications will still be incoming. While it does help to an extent, the biggest battery drainer for the Xperia Z is its screen. Whereas here with the Galaxy S3, again, you do get some power saving options. CPU power saving, screen power saving, background color, turning off haptic feedback and so on. And the battery life is pretty decent. To give you some perspective, the Xperia Z, despite its bigger battery, gives me about 60 to 70% the battery life of what I get with my Galaxy S3. The Galaxy S3, even under moderate usage, will get me through a day. Even if I forget to charge it in the night, the next day morning I will be left with 20-25% charge. Whereas with the Xperia Z, it gets me up to the evening for similar kind of usage. My usage generally is, half an hour or up to 1 hour of video playback or gaming, a couple of hours of music via Bluetooth, 3G or Wi-Fi on all the time, an hour or so of browsing, a few hours of calls. This is my moderate usage that I test the battery life under. And this is the kind of results that I get. So when it comes to battery life, we have a clear winner in the Galaxy S3. So round 8, battery life, Galaxy S3. For round 9, let's run a few benchmarks. While numbers aren't everything, the Xperia Z scored considerably higher than the Galaxy S3 on both quadrant standard and AnTuTu, making it the clear winner here. Round 9, benchmarks, Xperia Z. So guys, round 10, let's talk about pricing. The Galaxy S3 sells for $460 unlocked, the 16 gig variant, whereas the Xperia Z sells for $770. The Galaxy S3 wins this round and the comparison 6-4. So, is it worth buying the Galaxy S3 this late in its cycle? Well, the Galaxy S3 is still a solid performer. It is fast, fluid, smooth. There are no issues with the phone really. And with Samsung promising updates till Key Lime Pie, I don't think that, if you're looking to buy one of these two devices, you really can't go wrong with the Galaxy S3. The only reason you should wait, or if you're looking at another device, it should probably be the Galaxy S4, because the Xperia Z is not really a valid alternative to the Galaxy S3 in my honest opinion. So that's pretty much it for this comparison, guys. If you think I've missed something out, please let me know in the comment section. If you think, I'm always looking for feedback. If you think there's a part of the review that I could have done a little differently, if there's any feedback you have for me, Let me know in the comment section. And if you guys want to pick up either of these phones, you can do that from Amazon.com. The links are in the description. So that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for watching, and before you go, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. I will be coming out with more comparisons, the Xperia Z against the Tri DNA. I will be getting the Galaxy S4 as well, so a lot more comparisons and reviews coming up on Cusp Forever TV, so stay subscribed. So if you guys have any video requests for me, again, hit me up on Facebook or Twitter or Google+. All my contact details are in the description. That's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay subscribed, and I'll see you guys soon. Till then, it's Ash here from CuspForward.com signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.